Alrighty, so I'm out on my lunch break again, just thinking about filming a video, getting philosophical while I'm sort of just contemplating in silence right now, trying to decompress from work and then go back to it. Today, I kind of want to talk about maybe the progression of being a child to an adult, and in my opinion, what it means to be maybe like a good version of masculinity, or maybe just an adult in general. I don't necessarily think it has to do with like male, female, anything like that. Um, so, and this, I want to say before I even start, I personally have been getting my own drip feed of philosophical content and ideas from a couple different places. And so before I even say anything else, I just want to say, read books. A lot of good books, especially from the Stoics, have been very helpful. Gravemind, the YouTube channel, is basically free audiobooks when you really get down to it. It's a lot easier to watch, with anime playing on top of it, in like a montage format. And then unsolicited advice I've recently kind of gone into to help me get a primer on all the philosophical teachings that I have not gotten a start in yet, right? So what I'm about to tell you is probably ripped straight from some Gravemind thing that I've watched in the past, but it really resonated with me, so I feel like I want to share it with you guys. And that is the process of transitioning from a child to an adult, and what that means for you as an individual and what you should maybe expect from life, right? And basically, the story goes, right? You start out as a child, you're born, you're an infant, and you have essentially no autonomy, no ability to help yourself. You're a crying baby, and you need other people to care for you. You are required to depend on other people in order to survive, right? As you get older and you become in your adolescent and maybe even teenage years, you start to feel like you can take care of yourself. And more you start to be less dependent on your parents or other people in your community to take care of you. And you begin to almost like go through that teenage phase where you're like, no, I don't need help, stop smothering me type of thing. But you're really only concerned with yourself, right? You can take care of yourself, maybe, and you're really only thinking about yourself. Even if you wanted to be a better person or whatever, it's not necessarily about that. It's just that you really only have the capability to help yourself, and maybe not be as dependent on others as you used to be. This is just the reality of the situation. Like, nobody that is not experiencing great hardship in the process of doing so is leaving their parents in high school or as a teenager, and even in this day and age, necessarily as a college student, because, even though you go off and live on your own, a lot of people still receive help from their parents in some way. And again, you could look at it as another transitionary step, like a sliding scale, where, like, me personally, I really, as I was going on in college, needed help from my parents less and less. To a degree, I really, was paying for most of my stuff out of loans, so I wasn't, like needing them for anything other than sometimes if I was in a pinch, like my freshman year, and I run out of meal points and I don't have a job because I'm a freshman, I didn't have a job back then. It was kind of like I don't get to eat, or I ask my parents to load up for meal points. You know what I mean? But then as college goes on, I get a part-time job alongside class. I'm paying for my own stuff. Again, I'm able to remove my dependency to other people, but I'm really only able to take care of myself, right? And this is where the transition to becoming an adult comes in. When you get older and as you start to understand the way the world works, and I just say when you get older because, for me, that's how it happened. I probably really, truly understood this concept when I was like 23 on paper, but I've only come to truly understand it as I'm starting to think about, getting married, having kids, stuff like that at the age of 26, 25, So what happens is you start to realize that, yes, you can completely take care of yourself. But now that you have the ability to take care of others as well, it is almost your obligation or a good thing to strive to be somebody that other people can depend on. And that is basically the most important thing, right? You're transitioning from a crying baby that depends on other people to survive, to then all of a sudden on the other end of the spectrum, you are now an adult, able to take care of yourself, and other people can be dependent upon you. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say if you are in a terrible financial situation or something that you're not an adult anymore, because you can't have people depend on you. I think there's it's not just all about money. It's about time, family, friendship, like, any scale where you can be there for somebody. This is what we're talking about. But ultimately, where I think it becomes super important is when we have to think about what are the things that we value the most in society, or what are the actions that are going to make you feel good, make you feel like you're living a fulfilled life with purpose, and as a human, you're achieving human stuff, I think that it's important to recognize that this is something that you should be striving to do. You should be striving to be somebody that other people can depend on. And it becomes easy to see this paradigm when people have kids, right? Because your kids are dependent upon you. But flip this scenario and just think about everybody in life. I'm not some like guy that thinks that everybody should have kids. I think that if you want to, you absolutely should. But you could also think about it like, as you grow older, so do your parents. And as they get even older, they may become somebody that needs somebody to depend on. And you should feel happy, proud, encouraged to step into that role. As you age, you may find out that your community needs to depend on you. Maybe you're a teacher and kids really need your help. My mom's used to be a public school teacher for many, many, many years, like a legendary one at that. And she would always take extra steps to help out kids that would come to her for help, whether it just be like, hey, I don't feel comfortable eating lunch in the lunchroom. Can I eat lunch with you? Hey, I am really struggling on this concept. Can you help teach me it after school? Oh, they need somebody to be the cross-country coach. Like, she's going to be the cross-country coach and help kids out with that. Now, I think she got a little bit extra pay for that. But my point is that this is not... If you are living your life in a way where you are only concerned with your own needs and your ability to fulfill your own needs, and you think that that is the maximum amount of responsibility that you should be taking on as a human, I think you're going to be missing out on a big part of life, and one that, whether or not you believe me right now, will provide you a lot of value in return. Okay? So I don't want to talk about this too much, but I just want to say I think that's an interesting concept that I found to be pretty profound. Just the idea that you're transitioning from somebody that is dependent to survive to somebody that others can depend on, and that being a good thing, So with that being said, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna head back to work, and I'll probably post this video later this afternoon. If you've made it to this part in the video, please comment down below and let me know what you think about this. Maybe you think it is more or less profound than I did, but I'd be really interested to interact with you guys in the comments. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.